Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's video is the second addition to the cabinet island video that I had posted a few weeks ago. So today's video is all about building the island. So pretty much here what I'm doing is they wanted the end pieces to be the thicker looking chunky legs with farmhouse X on the side. So I used my CNC to cut the majority of this out. And so I cut the actual side piece. You can see the birch there that's straight up. And then I'm actually making the legs. I was going to buy just some 4x4 posts that were 3.5 inches thick. But I decided it might look cleaner if I just build them. So here I'm just building a hollow leg. This will be on all the sides. I put a little bit of glue down. And then so each one will be 3.5, and then so the outside pieces, you can cut those at 2 inches because you got to account for the thickness of the front and the back side. And so once you get both those sides on, just pocket holes on the inside, and then so that helps hide as many nails as possible. You can use glue for the other side, and then you lay that on there, and then I just use brad nails. So like I said, this is the same step for all 4 legs. And while I have a second, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. It really helps me grow my channel. I'm just trying to get to a small 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there piece by piece. So please subscribe. Thank you. And so once you finish that stuff up, you can see there, so that's the 4 legs, and then so I use my CNC machine to cut the majority of this stuff out. And so I just use more pocket holes attached. So this is going to be the back side of the island. So this is where I left a little bit of overhang. They had certain requirements that needed to be met. I think there's like a dishwasher that has to go in this. There's a microwave, there's a sink. So I had certain measurements, so I didn't really put any of the measurements in this because this was a completely custom island. But it was ended up being like 11 foot long, so it was very, very big. And so I think if they hit, they needed like 22 or 24 inches depth on the inside to fit all their stuff. So I attached that piece, and since this is longer than 8 foot, as you know, if you get a sheet of birch, which is what I use, or a sheet of plywood or whatever, they come only in 8 foot length. You could get them up to 10 foot, but I don't have a machine that could cut 10 foot. So I just get 4x8 sheets, and so I split it down the middle, put a little bit of glue, pocket holes just to attach those. And the reason I split it down the middle is because later on when I come back and put the trim on, you won't be able to see that seam in the middle, which you can't. Because I thought about if I put it, if I just use the whole 8 foot, you're gonna be able to see the seam somewhere and da da da. So. Yeah, so once you get all those pocket holes attached, you can do the same thing to the other side as you see me doing here. It's more glue, more pocket holes. You could always put a screw to the outside as well. You just got to make sure that that all that trim can be hidden, or that it can be hidden by the trim. So. Okay, and then so here again, I used my CNC to cut out these pieces. So I made sure that I had the foot kicker in the bottom, but so this is the starting the inside of the island. So this is I think I cut 6 of these, 5 or 6 of these, and so this is how I just kind of designed it in my head, so that I could get everything lined up perfectly the way it needed to be. There's drawers involved in this. So I started from the right side, which will be the sink. So I've done the sink first because I had a certain requirement, and then the dishwasher, it had a certain requirement, and then the drawers, they didn't have to be any kind of certain size. So, and I kind of let those fall as they did. So, and so I attached, like I said, I started with a sink. So I think the sink ended up being like 36 inches is what they needed. So I made that 36. And then once you get, um, I'd cut my spot for the 36, and then I think the dishwasher needed to be 24 inches wide. So that one on the bottom is just kind of going to hold this there thing. The one on the top can stay, but the one on the bottom would have to come out when the dishwasher actually goes in, which they knew that going into this. And I said those are just there just to keep my measurement the right, just to keep it nice and straight, to keep everything square. Okay, and then so going back to the sink side, so this is the face of the sink. I just used some 1.5 inch pieces of wood for the outside, and then for the bottom, and then for the top, I'm putting 2 dummy drawers. So I think that piece on the top might have been 6 inches, 7 inches, and then so you find the middle to the face, and then you simply attach those, making sure that both of them are the same width, and then just pocket hole those to the back. Okay, and then more pocket holes to attach the inside cabinet pieces to the face to attach the face frame. And so once you get all 6 of those attached, that pretty much completes the sink part. Later, I think very end of the video, I come back once I get everything trimmed out. I come back and I put down the cabinet floor and then the second cabinet shelf. I'll add those. And then so here is, so there's a microwave part that I had mentioned that has to be a certain width, and then the 2 drawers. So this is starting the microwave part. I think the microwave part, the 2 drawers, I put all those on one face. So again, using the 1.5 inch pieces of wood, I pocket hole all those together to make the face. And so once I get those even, so the microwave goes on the top, and then there's a big drawer on the bottom of it. Okay, and so once you get that part done, um, so I'll move on to there's 3 drawers that we're going to put in this. The top 2 are going to be smaller ones, and then the bottom 2 are going to be the same size. So I don't remember what they ended up being. But I think the top one might have been 6 inches, and then I just divided the bottom to make it even. So I actually had to think for a minute to which way to build this as far as behind the island, because when you think you have to, when you flip it up to put it on, it has to be it has to match where you want it to be, right? So I actually had to build it upside down, and then when I put it on there, so just keep that into thought when if you're doing something off the floor. Okay, and then so pretty pretty much just repetitive steps here. And so this is the same step as the sink was. So I'm just using pocket holes to attach the face of all those, and so that gives you, okay. So there's your sides, your face, and all the inside. And then so I quickly moved on to um, so this is this is the trim. So this would be the I guess you're looking at the front side of it. Um, so just a 1x3s cut. I think I had some that were 11 foot long or whatever the measurement ended up being, 10.5 foot. So I use those for the top and the bottom, and then the middle pieces, same 1x3s, but I just spaced them out to be one on each end, and then one in the middle to hide that seam, and then I just divided this one I'm working on, and then the mirrored image of it on the other side. Divided that in the middle, and that's how I got my trim. And then when you put it on, I just use some 1.25 inch screws and attach those from the back side. And so here you can see the completed video of that, and also again with the front. I kind of stain it as I go, just so I don't have so much staining to do at one time. Um, but so making the X, people making X's are not as hard as it looks. Once you get So you make a rectangle or square, whatever your goal is, and like I said, you can do the pocket holes there, and then you come back and you put that piece of wood under it, exactly in that corner where you want it, and then you use your pen and you just draw a line on both sides, and then you cut it. And then you can see to the right side there, they go on the same way as the other one. So, they go on the same way as the trim, just 1.25 inch screws. And then so the floor and the under the sink is the same. It's just a big piece of rectangle, pocket holes from underneath, and then also the middle shelf is the same thing. Pocket holes, both of those are the same. And I did not include building the doors or the drawers in this because I have so many other videos that I have the drawers in, and I was just trying not to repeat myself so much. And then also the doors, I will eventually one day make just a how to do a door video, but until then, no. But so, and then also the very last step that I included in this video is the making of the foot kicker. So pretty much I just took a piece of birch and then pocket holes, screw those in there together, and that's the foot kicker. Thank you for watching the video.